the parent of like a little kid, I think has gotten a lot harder than when I was raising my daughter. She's 23 now, and man, I got to tell you, the decisions you have to make and the things you have to monitor and protect your children from today has gotten a lot harder. What do you give them that's still entertaining, but also aligns with your values? You know, we've talked about Way FM being a product that you don't have to filter, but like if you got Netflix in your house, you got to have the filter on.
And even Disney Plus, you have the same problem.
Oh, well, I'll tell you, Disney Plus has been disappointing to me as a parent, and some of the things they've chose to put on there, and like you got to watch it, you know? And that's why it's so nice to have something. If I was raising little kids, I would do a PureFlix subscription, man, because you've got content on there that you're not having to filter out. And as a parent, I mean, I know we want to be involved in our kids' lives, but sometimes you need to park them in front of the TV and take 10 minutes to yourself. That's why PureFlix is a great option for families. You got family stuff, obviously. They're even dabbling in some drama. Yes, and PureFlix originals. Like I saw the movie on there, Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters, and I have to tell you,
you cried.
I did. There was 3 times. Not once, 3 times.
I did.
I wept, and I was moved, and it was a great movie. And I think if I was raising my child now, I think PureFlix would be definitely a part of my family's entertainment plan.
So if you'd like to try PureFlix, text PURE, that's PURE, to 91979 to get your 1-week free trial. Faith and family entertainment with no ads on your favorite devices.
Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast. All the stuff we did not get to during the course of the show today. If you've watched any of the news today, you've seen some of the videos and pictures of Hurricane Ian that went across Florida, going in at Fort Myers, where we have a station, and then across through Orlando, and now it's out by Daytona, and it's looking to curl back up and around and hit Charleston, South Carolina. I mean, we were just talking to a friend of ours. We've been getting sketchy or spotty information out of Florida today because the coast by Fort Myers just got destroyed apparently, and we have friends that work with us that they had the whole first floor of their house flooded. They were riding it out on the second floor and had a raft, and that was their escape plan. Like, oh my goodness. And so you definitely are in a survival, and it always feels post-apocalyptic. One of the guys, the station manager down there, was like, he's like, it feels like zombie apocalypse down here. Like streets just empty, but just debris everywhere. People's houses destroyed, power lines down. Like there's the 2.5 million people don't have power. And it's hard to get messages in. Like my daughter is in Orlando, and I found out this morning, like she's safe and they lost power, but she's good. And, but I will text, and then it's 30 minutes till you get a text back, and you can't get any phone calls to anybody. I've been trying to get a hold of people to talk to them on the radio show that, live down there and kind of get the update, like some of our friends and coworkers. And it's going to be a mess down there for a while. So I always hate those. Have you guys ever lived through anything like that, like a storm? Have you ever had to deal with that, Rob?
The closest thing I ever came to was the house.
The flood here? Remember that?
Oh, yeah, I do. But that didn't really affect me too much. I mean, I saw it, but it didn't affect me.
Yeah.
The closest I ever came to was the house I grew up in. There was a really bad ice storm that came through back in the 90s at some point. And we lived on the side of a hill, and it was just complete shadows. And so when the ice came, trees were just snapping all around us, and we had no electricity for 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
And we couldn't get down or up from our house.
Oh, sure.
So it was just us and a fire that my dad chopped wood and put it in the fireplace, and we just burn it.
Your dad's like chopping up the cabinets. Okay, it's desperate now.
We had plenty of trees to use, but
but you
that was pretty bad.
I mean, you get into these weird survival things. I've been in that kind of thing a couple times, and you forget how much you take for granted electricity. Mm-hmm. I mean, just to keep your phone charged. I mean, just everything we do, you forget about that. And those survival situations, there's something odd that I like about them. It's kind of exhilarating when you beat it, kind of thing. And and so but you never wish for it. But when you're in it, you feel like you got to rise to the occasion. And it's weird going out and looking for the things you need to get through the next day. It's haunting, but there's something that's kind of been like cool about it too, you know?
I wouldn't say it was cool.
Well, for me, I don't want that for anybody else.
Yeah.
I like it. But
like I remember as a kid, like we drug my parents' mattress into the living room in front of the fireplace so that we could keep warm. And I would sleep between them and I could hear the branches of trees cracking
with
because of the ice.
Yeah.
Oh,
and you never knew if it was going to just be a branch or if it was going to take down a tree and then you'd have a tree on top of your house.
Yeah.
You just didn't know. So
I'd be like the worst dad for that type of situation. I feel like as a guy who's just not a survival person,
right,
who doesn't have a lot of just like handy tool working abilities, I'd be sitting there being like, man, I just hope this ends as soon as possible.
Gavin gets all fatalistic. Well, kids, we're probably not going to make it out of this. You know, it's been good knowing you. Yeah. So anyway, the people down there are definitely going to have their hands full for a long, long time. It's just kind of like what happened to the Panhandle a few years ago with Michael. It went through there and it messed people up for, you know, years, honestly, till they got back in their home. So it's tough. Here's a weird story. Just like out of a Bond movie, there's a gas pipeline that runs from Russia to Germany, and it's leaking now as a result of an apparent sabotage.
Ooh.
What? Like, are we really doing this nonsense? And it's like the things you hear in the news, like, or the things you watch in movies, when you see them actually happening in the news, you're like, how is, really? That's incredible. But these lines are buried deep in the Baltic Sea. And so somebody would have to be really good at espionage to commit this kind of sabotage while probably listening to Nicki Minaj wearing a floral corsage. See, that's how easy it is to write rap. But I just knocked that out.
I don't know.
And so I might start doing the news like that. Like,
please don't.
Yeah, missed beats, you'd love it. Come on. Because you know there's a 70-30 chance I'm going to mess up.
Well, and also I'll hear 30 to 70 coughs beforehand.
Yeah, we'll be
exactly.
wiping this place down after every news scene.
They're not sure who's responsible yet, but I can give you one guess. His name is Vladimir Putin, and he's putting some work in, not worried about making friends. He's maniacal, diabolical. I messed that up. He's a meanie sitting in the Kremlin eating beanie weenies. So
what?
There you go.
How did Beanie Weenies?
Where did that
Doesn't
rhyme?
matter. It's rap. It's stream of consciousness.
You have to explain it though.
No, because that's the beauty of it.
know.
You go, I never knew that Putin liked beanie weenies before. I'll look into that. See?
Checks out though. The last name like Putin.
Yeah. I always look through rap lyrics because I always like to find the obscure references because sometimes when they throw them in there.
You're cool like that?
I am cool like
dope
that.
like that?
I'm dope like all of that. So experts say that the only country that stands to benefit from the pipeline leak would be Russia, although they don't have proof of who actually did it yet, but Russia said, definitely not us. Have a nice day. So
have a nice day.
Have a nice day. If you bank with Regions Bank, you might want to look into this. They are on the hook for $141 million in illegal overdraft fees. What? And you always think, do companies really do this stuff? Just like, do people really sabotage pipelines? Yeah, they do. And this one did this. Apparently, they were charging illegal overdraft fees. That when you went to an ATM to make a withdrawal or debit card purchases, they would tell you, oh, you have enough money to cover it, and then you don't, and so then they would charge you a fee. And so apparently it was an error in the software that was doing this, and instead of fixing it immediately, get this, they waited. How long did they wait? What was it? They waited a few months till they could figure out how to not fix the problem, but replace the revenue that they lost from the fees. Like, that's next level maniacal evil.
Yeah.
You're like, well, we're losing some money here on these fees. If we tell the truth, we're gonna have to make that up because fees make up 18% of their non-interest revenue.
So this is going to make them probably lose some business, I would think.
I would hope so. Yeah. So
If you're doing that.
$141 million to customers plus $50 million in fines. And good. That's exactly what should absolutely happen. Lady Rock, what do you got?
There is a couple in Texas that they were getting tired of their packages being pirated. So, the porch pirates, they come to your porch and take all your packages. So what they decided to do was they took their toddlers' dirty diapers, put them in a box, made it look like Amazon had dropped it off or UPS, whatever you want to guess. Mm-hmm. And they catch on their Ring doorbell, the porch pirate comes up, picks up the box, and walks off with it.
And you're like, yes, we got him.
But then must have realized that it was dirty diapers in the car when he got back in the car.
Yeah.
So then he decides to get back out with the dirty diapers and smear them all over this couple's door.
You're already evil.
Yeah.
Right.
You're already stealing.
So left them there and they were like, well, at least it'll teach him a lesson. No, he comes back later with cow manure that he picked up somewhere, and he threw
from
it,
another house.
Maybe threw it on their front porch as well as their car.
What a monster!
See, like that.
What makes you think you have the right to do that? It wasn't your right to even take the package to begin with.
They didn't do anything wrong to you,
right? He's like all mad at them. How dare you thwart my thieving attempts?
Right.
They have his fingerprints on the diapers now. They should fingerprint him. That is just crazy town.
I know.
Did they ever say did they have footage on this guy in a way that they could press charges? Because
it says that they called the cops and they have set up a patrol in the area, but the thieves have not been caught yet.
I'm actually very careful about this kind of stuff where somebody interacting with people who can know where you live, just like this. Okay, so you mess with the porch pirates. So they have the advantage. They know where you live. They can mess with you and you can't do anything to them. And so as tempting as that would be to hose them, I don't know that I would have done that just for that reason alone, because they have all the power in that scenario.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But if they know that they're getting videotaped.
Yeah. But they didn't care, man. Holy cow.
No, that's just terrible too. Come on.
Yeah.
Just get a normal job. And then you won't be in this situation.
Yeah, they probably view it as their job. Are you going to work today, Fred? Yeah, I am. I'm going to steal some packages.
Yeah, but
cool.
if you think about it, like we saw in the news not that long ago, there was a woman that she had gotten porch pirated. And she said it was terrible because what got taken was her husband's medication.
Yeah.
Because now medication is being delivered to your door.
Right.
And so sometimes that medication is life-threatening if you don't have it. And so
porch took my gout medicine. Oh my gosh, my left foot would swell up. I could die.
But it's just you don't have the right. I mean, this is common sense. You don't have the right to take someone's property.
No.
So that especially doesn't give you the right to get vengeance on someone that you actually did wrong too.
I always love when you hear these stories of somebody starts a crime and then they just get whooped. They started and they messed with the wrong person.
I saw that once where this two teenage kids went up with a gun to this guy and they were going to take his money, but he knew jiu-jitsu or something, and he had been from the Marine Corps.
He whooped him.
And I mean, he took one kid and just threw him down on the ground and the other one ran. And this other one that got hit down on the ground was limping away. And I think I told y'all this story, but I didn't tell the potty. So I'm watching this show and it's about I survived a crime and it's on Netflix. Anyways, there's this one episode where this guy comes in to rob a couple in their home. And he comes in with this huge gun, and thankfully, somehow the owner of the home was able to get the gun away from the intruder. And then they have on camera them, just down on the ground. He's trying to punch him and all this stuff. Eventually, the robber runs away without his gun. And they say 5 minutes later, if that, the robber comes back, knocks on the door, and asks them, "Can I have my gun back?"
That's insane.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Why would I do that?
I literally would look, I can't give you the gun back. I appreciate you asking. I'm going to give you one bullet, and I'm going to shoot you right now. You can have this one bullet.
It's just so stupid.
Yeah,
it's so stupid.
I
don't understand people. Just get a job.
When you started the thing and you started that ball rolling, and because you'll see this happen in courts, and they're like, well, there was a crime being committed, and then this person whooped him, and now my client wants damages.
No.
Absolutely not. You started that ball rolling. You take what you get at that point, because you certainly didn't think twice about putting someone else in danger.
Yes.
And so just because you lost, now I got rights? Absolutely not. Your rights terminated the minute you started this with me.
Well, do you remember that story? There was about a woman that she was getting robbed, and I guess she had a glass ceiling or one of those sun windows or whatever. And a robber crawling on top and fell through, and then he fell on a kitchen knife because he got stabbed by the kitchen knife that was just there. It wasn't by the woman.
Right.
And then he was suing her for injury.
Can you imagine if you got that notice in your mail? You'd have to. It's a joke. This has to be a joke.
There's no way.
And the fact that you have to take time off of your work to go actually deal with this and address it,
and that a lawyer would take his time to defend that person,
and that's the person that should go to jail. Is that lawyer? The other guy, fine,
There's
whatever.
No way.
That lawyer, you know what you're doing, and it's wrong.
Right.
You know?
Though if you win that case, you're kind of a legend.
I don't want a self-defense class. I want a self-offense class.
Oh yeah,
that's what I want. I don't want to. Okay, because if you know self-offense and you could whoop somebody, you can also defend yourself. But like, I think I need that.
Like as soon as you hear the wrong door in your house open,
you can teach a lesson on finger guns.
I know. Finger guns 101. Hey. Oh yeah, I'm not afraid. I have a permit to carry a concealed finger gun, and
that could have turned south so bad.
Oh, I know. Okay, we have to tell. Would have been like, we have new potty, so I got to tell the story because it doesn't make sense to them otherwise. And so, so what she's referencing is there was this kid breaking into cars in my neighborhood, and I caught him. And I walked outside.
Decided the best idea was to approach him in just your shorts.
Yeah, I'm just in my shorts. Yeah. There's a lot I didn't think through. And then I don't even have shoes on. So, like, I'm stepping on my aggregate driveway, like, ow. You know? Hey. So, don't run, please. It's going to hurt my feet. And so I'm not a big ominous presence. No. I wanted to feel as ominous as possible. So I had my hand behind my back like I was holding a weapon. Okay, and like he might think, he's reaching into his waistband of his underwear to grab a pistol or something.
And you shout, "Hey!"
Yeah, hey! Yeah, you got to do it. You have to shout very authoritatively. Now it turns out, like I handled the situation, and I did not need to use my finger gun, which I'm very thankful.
But he would have been in for a hissy fit.
It was loaded.
Oh,
it was packed and loaded.
Like, can you imagine like the eye damage that could have happened if I poked him? Yeah,
flick him.
Yeah, so
you, sir. Hi.
Yeah, that kid does not know how close he came to a cornea injury. I will say this though, very lucky that it happened then and not now, because now I am armed, and
so this was all before you.
This is before I had a gun. Yeah,
firearms,
and I'm stupid enough to
go out with it.
No, absolutely. I'm not ever going to go out and be and be at a disadvantage if I don't have to be. But it's not smart.
Also, too, if you had gone out and he wasn't threatening you, so you would have lost that lawsuit.
Oh, absolutely. That's the thing.
You can't do that.
I am smart enough to know. Yeah, like
call the cops.
That's what you should do. But the one thing is
a finger gun in your underwear.
Yeah, this is the problem about firearms, is that if you don't use them responsibly, they escalate. They do not de-escalate situations a lot of times. You see these road rage things, and one person pulls a gun, and then the other person's like, I got one too, and then you're into this mess. And so, it definitely is supposedly or properly should be life and death.
But nobody walks away from that in like a clean, fashion where their life isn't really like changed in the minute.
In Florida, you always had the thing. It was called, I forget what it was called, like the
alligator self-defense.
Weaponry? I forget what it was called. Basically, if somebody had the ability to flee, if you had the ability to flee and you still shot somebody, then you were liable. You know, if you could leave. If you were backed into a corner, you couldn't get away, then you were able to use force outside of your house. Law? That's what I think it became.
Okay.
But there was something before that the stand your ground law lets you, actually.
If they can tell that you shot them in the back, then
that's a problem.
That is a problem.
Yeah.
Because then you weren't being a victim.
I did have a lady in our neighborhood that came to me and said that somebody tried to abduct somebody in our neighborhood. And I did go looking for them. We called the cops and everything, but I did go looking for them, and I did take my rifle with me for sure.
In your neighborhood here?
In my neighborhood here. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's freaky.
Yeah. But it was also again, it was still bagged and the clip was not in it, because I'm not going off half-cocked and ridiculous.
Just with a finger gun.
Yeah, the finger gun worked. I mean, maybe I should do that. Maybe we should issue those to everyone. Maybe that's it.
Just police officers running guys down.
Yeah, if everybody, criminals included, all have finger guns, it's going to be a different world.
And the only way to beat them, those kind of guns, is just to put goggles on.
Yes.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Can't get poked.
Yeah, unless someone tries to grab you in the nostrils, and then that's a double barrel finger gun because you got to use two fingers.
We got to break in, be alarmed. He has goggles.
Yeah. He has goggles. Suspect is fingered and dangerous instead of armed and dangerous. Yeah, because you got finger guns. Okay. Anyway, you got any birthdays for me?
I do. Today is a special day, and Shelly and Melissa want to make sure that it is shouted out. Today is my dad, Danny Ray's birthday.
Oh, is it really?
Yes!
What a day!
He's turning the whopping 68 years old.
Oh, Danny Ray's 68 years young. Unbelievable. And you got him your present. You haven't given it to him yet, have you?
Yes, so don't talk about it.
I won't.
No.
Yeah. But I think he'll like it.
Oh, I know he will.
And they said, I know he loves his Toot Blossom, so I'll let her take care of this. I'm only familiar with Wally's impersonation of him, which I'm sure is spot on.
Oh, absolutely.
Someone knew your dad's birthday?
Heck fire.
I guess we've talked about it.
Toot Blossom, I just love you more than life itself. I love you more than the camel britches I'm wearing right now that I've had since I was 14 years old.
Okay.
I think you're old enough now for your first finger gun.
Also said he's amazing based on what Betty mentioned. She always has an amazing story to tell about him. He gave her an awesome nickname, Toot Blossom. That is true.
Here's the thing I like about your dad, besides him just being a man's man and having just other ultimate respect for this Southern gentleman, is that he does really sweet things for you, and he mails you little care packages and stuff like that. I think that's really cool.
It is.
I love that. I think that's a neat dad thing to do.
It is. It really is.
And I always see it it means a lot to you.
Oh, it does. Yeah, for sure. The question is, growing up, did you become friends with your friends' parents or more friends with their parents than with them? So
that's a weird question, actually.
So you become friends with your friends' parents,
right?
So were you friends with your friends' parents
compared to
or more friends with their parents than with them?
Okay.
So I think they're saying the same thing.
I'm closer with my friend's John's parents than I am with John, for an example.
For example, that'd be correct for your daughter, Haley, Wally, because she became really good friends with Molly and Greg, who were her
friends' parents.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's actually really close with them, and she can call Molly for anything. Molly's like a second mom to her.
Yeah.
And Haley, when Lily was in college and Haley lived here, Haley would go out with the four of us, and hang out with us, and she was always more comfortable around adults too.
I think it's an only child thing.
I think so too, because we had it. I mean, that's when we went places, we just had her with us, and so so that would be the case for her for sure.
I think about when my friends in high school, I was definitely, spent the night or whatever, and I was close to them, I would say. But I wouldn't call them out of the blue just to say, hey, what's going on? And then my roommates, each one, I was close to their parents until they moved, and then I didn't hear from them again. But that's fine.
That's fine. I'm not hurt. I'm over it.
No, that's fine.
They haven't texted me back for a few days.
But yeah, I have had numerous times friends of mine, their mom texts me and say, hey, can I, or not text me, but when we're together, say hey, can I get your number so that, if I can't reach my daughter, I can reach you and get some information kind of thing. So, yeah.
Gavin?
I think that the two examples I can think of that aren't quite the bill for this, but my best friend from college, his parents, I ended up staying at his house for a couple weeks after college every year just to hang out for the summer before going home to New Mexico. And so I got really close with them. And then when it came time for his wedding, I actually hung out and talked to them more than I did with him because obviously he's busy and talking to all these people. But I talked to them for a really long time and they were really sweet. And then nowadays, I feel like I look at Haley's parents more as friends than I do my in-laws. I think that I could hang out with her dad on any occasion.
Oh, that's
and,
good.
Like we have that comfortability, but it's still like that respect of like, oh, you're my wife's parents.
Yeah.
But beyond that, there is a good friendship there.
Oh, that's good. I just got an update from our station in Fort Myers. Station is okay. Vehicles are okay. We did lose the main dish, like the satellite dish that got blown off of the roof. Thankfully, 89.5 is still on the air, but we can't change anything like add to it because the computer, I guess, is down. The internet's down. And so, but at least it's on the air there, which is actually kind
I
of
feel like if we lived in Florida and this was a situation, you would have come in here and slept and stayed
absolutely, 100%.
so that everyone could still have their Wally show.
Oh, absolutely. Without that, that's how I grew up doing this job. Like when I worked in local radio for a long time. And so when there was anything that affected your local area, you went there and we did marathon on-air sessions. I mean, we'd be on for 10 hours, and stuff. And so you were just part of the fabric of that community. And so, yeah, I absolutely would. And then I would, we've done it before. We would work, and do our show. And then we'd go out into the community and we'd be doing like cleanup and stuff like that. And it was fun. Like I liked it. It was really cool being a part of that community so intently. And that's what our people down there are going to be doing. That we're removed from it because we're out of Nashville, but the people that work at the local WAFM, they'll be down there, handing out water and making sure people are getting the resources they need. And that happened last time when Michael went through Panama City. Craig Vincent, our guy there, was a rock star and was helping out tons of people and orchestrating things. And so we still have that local radio station ability, even though we're a network, which is kind of nice. So again, man, it's going to be a mess down there. If you want to help out, you can text Convoy to 91979. And so Convoy to 91979. You can donate to a Convoy of Hope that does a lot of good. Oh, good. Tom is the guy I've been talking to from there. I just asked him about his house, and he said his house is fine.
Okay.
So, oof, that's good, because that was not everybody's story.
Yeah.
There are houses that are just gone, So, anyway, I think that's going to do it for our Aftercast for today.
And as always,
Take us home, Rock.
Thanks for being a potty.
Thanks for being a potty.
We'll have a contest to see who does it better
No,
next time.
I definitely do it better.
Thank you for being a potty.
Stop
Oh,
it.
I like that. It was almost like a movie trailer.
Thank you for being a potty.